Instruments in Obs and Gynae Part 2. Here we will be dealing with the instruments related to dilatation and curettage and evacuation. This is Hega's dilator. It's a solid rod curved instrument tapering towards the tips. It is used for rapid dilatation prior to individual curettage, prior to suction evacuation in the first trimester MTP, prior to evacuation of vesicular mole, removal of endometrial polyp, placental polyp, fibroid polyp, before instrumentation of hysteroscopy, whenever amputation of the cervix is done, or before Fothergill's operation, and in cervical stenosis. Now, the indications where only dilatation is done alone, that is, whenever we want to drain the pyometra, drain the hematometra or leukometra, or whenever in patients of cancer cervix, when the tendon has to be inserted to put the radioactive needles. This is Sims sharp and blunt curette. It comes in different sizes. As you can see that the loop is of different sizes, few millimeters to centimeters. This is at an angle with the shaft. The blunt end is used in gynecology and the sharp edge is mostly used in gynecology. The uses abnormal uterine bleeding to know the hormonal pattern, in secondary amenorrhea, especially to diagnose tuberculous endometritis, and here it is very optional that the samples should be taken from the cornu of the uterus because tuberculous salpingitis is 100% present whenever you are expecting genital tuberculosis. Then to diagnose endometrial hyperplasia, the precursor lesion of cancer endometrium or cancer endometrial itself. Then in postmenopausal bleeding to rule out malignancy. And here, when we want to rule out the carcinoma of endometrium, the specimens taken are three specimens. One is from this undilated endocervical canal. Second is taken just above the internal laws, that is from the isthmic region. And the third specimen is taken from all the walls of the uterus, anterior, posterior, right, and left lateral, and from the fundus. Then in dysfunctional uterine bleeding, therapeutic curettage is done so that the whole of the sick endometrium is removed. In Asherman's syndrome, to break the adhesions, and whenever the embedded copper T is to be removed, it's used. Obstetrical uses are in medical termination of pregnancy when you want to see that when you want to cure it, then in incomplete abortion, in missed abortion, and even in cases of secondary postpartum hemorrhage to remove the contents and the dead tissues. The disadvantages with the instrument are that there could be complications like perforations, there could be ascending infections, cervical injuries, hemorrhage, and if very enthusiastic curettage is done, something like when the person curates too much and removes the decidua basilis, there is damage to the endometrium, and this could lead into secondary amenorrhea, and this is called as the Asherman's syndrome. The contraindications are whenever you are suspecting a pregnancy or there is genital infection per se, if there is PID, if there is pyometra, then the curettage is not done. This instrument is endometrial biopsy curette. It's a long instrument. There is a thumb rest and there is the probe to clean the instrument and keep it patent. The tip is having serrations so that the sample can be taken. All the indications of the DNC, especially when the cervix is not getting dilated or you want to do it as a OPD procedure, this instrument is used. Ovum forceps. The ovum forceps is a long instrument. It has got fenestrated blades, spoon-like ends, a blunt end. There is no catch. This is to avoid perforation of the uterus. The ovum forceps is used for evacuating the products of abortion and also used in vesicular mole and evacuation of the conceptus in secondary postpartum hemorrhage. This instrument is Kerman's cannula, a long plastic cannula which is open at one end and the other end is having a round, uh, it's smooth and round, but there are apertures which are called as the vessels, which will be collecting the materials from the canal. Various sizes of the plastic tube are available, ranging from 4 to 12 millimeters, and this depends upon the size to which you want to dilate the cervix. The proximal end, this end fixes to the suction or to the vacuum syringe, and the other end is inserted into the uterine canal. This is superior and it is overhanging edge and it acts as a curette. The number of the cannula should correspond to the diameter of the cannula in millimeters, and the plastic cannula is preferred because it is less traumatic, it is disposable, it is sterile, and the chances of infection are also less. This is a manual vacuum aspiration syringe. This is the cannula of the syringe. Now, the manual vacuum aspiration syringe is used for aspirating the uterine contents up till the size of 12 weeks of gravid uterus, and this is recommended even by the WHO for safe abortion of 10 to 12 weeks of pregnancy. The syringe has a capacity of 60 ml and a vacuum of around 65 centimeters of water or 650 millimeters of mercury is created by pulling the piston inside the barrel. There is a controlled valve system, and when you release the valve, this much amount of the vacuum is enough to suck the contents of the uterine cavity. This is used in cases of medical termination of pregnancy, again in suction evacuation, in missed abortion, or in incomplete abortion, used for SNE in molar pregnancy, and also in cases of draining the contents of the head when a craniotomy is done on a dead fetus, especially hydrocephalus. If you could understand, then please subscribe, drop a like, and share. Thank you.